A middle-aged man carrying a briefcase walked into Portland International Airport and purchased a one-way ticket to Seattle, Washington.
Right guys, today is episode 1 of the LEMMiNO animation style tutorial. Today I will show you how to do this animation. The thing about this animation style is like the main plugin everyone uses is like GeoLayers, but it costs $329.99. It's way too overpriced in my opinion for a plugin. So I tried out a bunch of things basically to not use this plugin, and I found a way. It's not perfect. If you do like a lot of map animations, go with GeoLayers, but it's very complex. I watch a few tutorials. I can do a tutorial on the plugin someday. If you're interested, drop in the comments. So basically I will show you how to do it without. We need to go onto Google Maps, but not on the normal Google Maps site, because then we can't customize anything. I found a website called snazzymaps.com, and basically you can just ignore everything. You don't even need an account. Just go on to build a map. The best way to do it, you need like the city in the middle of the route you want to animate. So the route I want to animate is this from DB Cooper, which LEMMiNO talks about in the video about DB Cooper. The plane went from Portland to Seattle, something like that. If you click on Toledo, it's in Washington, USA, is basically in the middle of all of it. So just take it and copy the name, go to the map builder, click on size and location, and now you want to click search for a location and type in Toledo, USA. So now lined up in the middle, that's where we want it. The height you want to do to 2000, the highest you can do it, and the width to 100 is also the highest. That's how we will get a high quality image. You have to go on the Chrome web store for the extensions and find full page screenshots. I think you can use multiple ones, but this is the one I use and this is the one I recommend to you guys. So install this. I want to play around with the zoom level and see how much you want to capture of the map. Gonna press on apply changes. I go with 8. So what you want to do now is click on the advanced settings here. We need to make like 2 images. This is because we need the names also, but we also need a picture without the names. Go into full screen mode like this and disable the sidebar. Then we go on the top to extensions, go to the extension, click on it, let it make a full screenshot of the whole map, then save it as a PNG, then go back on the side, go to the top. This is now very important. You have to click on satellite and disable the labels, because this is now the final map we want to use for the animation. And now go to the advanced settings tab on the left side and hide all controls like this. Now we go on the top again and click on this extension and make a screenshot. Perfect. Now also save this as a PNG. Close everything. Now take both of the screenshots and drag it into your assets folder. Then we're gonna click on one of it, open with Photoshop. Also drag the other one in, so we have both of them in one single Photoshop file. Click on this tool, the crop tool. Now you want to play around with it so we exactly only have the map exactly on the corner of the map. Basically the way I'm going around is like I'm playing. This is exactly the controls in all Adobe programs. That's why I like Adobe more than fucking DaVinci or something else, even though the payment pricing is better in DaVinci because it's free or like a one-time big fee, but it's fine. So if you press like spacebar and left click, you can go around without touching anything, and then with option and mouse wheel you can zoom in and out. So we want to adjust it so every corner is perfectly aligned. So we will capture everything of the map. And this we can also put a little bit more up, because I'm pretty sure this is not hiding even though we hit all the controls. So it's fine, we'll just crop this as well. Then press on the check mark at the top. Now we're gonna check how it looks without. Perfect. This is the screenshot how we want it. Perfect. So now we're gonna export both of the images as a PNG like this. Select both of them, right click, quick export as PNG. Then go into your folder for the files, into your assets, and then open. You can rename this to the map and rename this the second one to the labels. Now head into After Effects. I already made a project. Now drag both of the images into the After Effects file. Also don't forget to sort your project file. Drag the images to the pictures. Now make both layers to a 3D object. Now we want to add right click, new camera. Can use the standard one, then also add a null object, and we will parent the camera to the null object. Also make sure it's 3D, then zoom it out, play around with the rotate. The important step we now need to do is to customize the map. So we drag it onto the top, and now we have to apply a few effects. So we have the LEMMiNO style. Now first we want to right click, press new and add an adjustment layer, then go to the top and effects and presets. Also we can rename this adjustment layer to grade, then search for effects and presets and add Lumetri color this one. Go to basic correction. We're gonna reduce the exposure to minus 0.5. Then we're gonna increase the contrast to around 50. So this is just the base grading. The second step is for the desaturation. We're just gonna grab hue and saturation and put the master saturation to minus 100. So it's black and white. That's also done. Vignette. Just apply like this. For now we can use the default values, but maybe we'll change this at the end. So you will see why I did the second screenshot, because we now need all the labels to identify where we are. Like if you're not like a geologist expert, you'll just disable the first map and now you can see all the labels. Zoom out again. So we started in Portland, in Oregon to Seattle. So that's the exact route we want to animate from here to here. Reset these values, rotated the Z, the rotation to 90. So we have exactly the side view in a little bit. Just have to play around with the values so it looks good. Then you want to make all your keyframes. The position, we're gonna make a keyframe here. And for the rotations, then press U to reveal the keyframe properties. I'm gonna go to like 5 seconds. And here we want the animation to be finished so you can see the whole route. So we need to zoom out. Also, I forgot to keyframe the scale. Just press S on the null object, keyframe it, press U, drag it to the front, zoom out and adjust all the keyframes again. Select all the keyframes like this. Then go on the top to the flow plugin from escripts.com. Basically here you can see all the presets from me, which can be found in the description. They're the best presets on the world. To make them start like around 25 milliseconds, so drag it a little bit forward.
Man carrying a briefcase walked into Portland Internet.
Like this, select all of them, and I will go with the smooth easing. Basically this easing is so good, you can use this like everywhere, but we will just apply this one. Also make sure that motion blur is enabled. Like this, select all the layers and then click on the motion blur icon. Next step is we want to animate the labels. Basically we can lower the quality again, close this one, and then click on this hide the map so we can see all the labels. Invert this map because it's way too bright. Now we want to go under the top here and then select the rectangle tool. Then just make a box like this, it's perfectly fine. Click Command and double click, left click on the anchor point. So it's in the middle, the anchor point, like this. Make sure to enable the proportional grid and then drag it in the middle. Also make sure the snapping is on, this one. Now it basically snaps in the middle like this. Perfect. Can zoom it up to like 160. Press right click and add a text. Now we're gonna write out the name of the city. Portland, Orlando, I think. For the font we'll go with Bebas Neue. I think this is a font he uses a lot. For the style we'll go with regular. Also make sure the anchor point is in the middle and drag it in the middle of the composition. Scale it up like this. One more thing I want to adjust is the space between the words, and we'll put this up to 88. Also the anchor point back to the middle, drag it in the middle like this. Perfect. Scale it down to maybe 170. Then click on the shape. Now we want to customize the style of the box. Go to the stroke color, make it white, and make the stroke, we can make it 20. Perfect box. Now we want to make the pin on the bottom of the city card. So we will go again to the top, this to the rectangle tool, and just make like a sign. Remove the stroke, make it white, and click on the roundness, and we'll bump this up to around 25. Like this is perfect. Center the anchor point, close this window, and drag it to the middle of the composition. Then put it behind everything we just made. Now we can also rename this. This will be, just call this line. That's the box. Click on the line, click on P, and the first one is the x-axis and the second one is the y-axis, like the height. And we want to drag it down like this, so it matches up with this to 669. Click on the text, go to Animation Composer. This is a plugin. There's also a free version, but I have the paid one. It doesn't matter, with the free one you can do the same. You can even do all of this, what you can do with the Animation Composer, inside of After Effects, but it's a whole lot of work. And you have to click through all of this, and Animation Composer saves your time. So go ahead and download it. Click on Transition, Characters, Fade, then From Start, this one, and just click on In.
A middle-aged man carrying.
Like this, and also make the marker to around the 1 second mark, so it's longer. Like this is perfect. Drag the text a little bit to the back, because now we want to animate the opening of the whole thing. and drag the line to the back a little bit, like to here. Then go into the box like this in here, so you can see all the settings. Click on the rectangle path and the size. We want to deselect this. Then make a keyframe around like the 1 minute mark. Go to the beginning and put this to 0. Now also press T, and for the opacity, make this to 100 and to the beginning to 0. This, then also the same on the line. This will also go from 0 to 100. And for this, we'll just make a basic scale animation. Click on S. Also press on this one so the X and Y scale is separated. Make a keyframe here. Go to the beginning. And the right value we want to turn on to 0. Now select both of them, press U to reveal the keyframe properties. Select it, the keyframes, go to the flow plugin for the easing. And try it a few, but I think I will go with the smooth easing.
Middle-aged man carrying a briefcase.
Just play around with it, what looks best. For the opacity, I will not ease it, just make it linear. For this one,
A middle-aged man
like this, I like it. And then drag it a little bit forward. Make this longer.
A middle-aged man carrying a brief.
I like it like that. That's fine. Now select everything we just made, like this. Press Command C and Command V to copy it. This will be the second box and we'll rename this to Seattle, Washington. Also make sure it's centered in the middle, like this. Drag it in the middle. And the box we'll make a little bit smaller, so just go like this to here, play with the values so it fits exactly like that is fine. So just take the value of the border, go to the beginning, paste it in, make sure the same easing is applied as before. Now select the first one and press right click, pre-compose, and we'll name this Portland. And the second one, make a pre-compose out of it and this will be Seattle. Then check the box on it to make it a 3D layer like this. Perfect. Drag the Seattle to the back like this. Now we're gonna have to play with them a little bit so it looks good. First I will add a null object, make it 3D and parent both of the layers to the null object so it exactly matches. You're just gonna have to play around a little bit until it's perfectly aligned. It's good to enable the proportional grid so you can see exactly what's going on. Like that is perfect. You can change all the values I have here. Can delete it, then scale both of them down to maybe 25. Put the Seattle to the right place here and the Portland also to the right place. You can put this exactly onto the Google Maps or just play around with it so it looks good. One more thing I would just like to add. I don't think LEMMiNO uses it, so you can skip this step, but I like it a lot, this plugin. So just go on to quick chromatic aberration. I used this in the video before, but I like it because it gives like a cinematic look to all of it. Especially when it's like a black and white image, it gives like some color to it. I see like the problem that it's behind the map. We can just fix this by dragging it in the front. Just select the signs, press P, and then play with the last value. This basically tells the layer where it is in the 3D space and we want it in front of the map. So you can just copy this to the other one. So that's perfect now. The signs are finished. Now I want to make a line connecting both of them to show the routes where DB Cooper went. For this, we'll just go to the end where it's finished and we can disable the proportional grid. Then go on to the pen tool here. Select the Portland exactly on the bottom of the thing here. Then click on the Seattle point. And one more thing that's important. Now, I showed this also in a previous video, I believe. Click it and hold it like this so we can change the curvature because we want it to be bent like this to see how the plane went like this. Now go on the stroke. We will leave this at 10, but we will change this. Then the fill color, disable it. The stroke color will be completely red. This, and for the stroke we'll go with 7. That's fine. The line we did now, and drag this below the signs. Like this. Go to the settings of the line, go to dashes, click on the plus and dash it out. Play with it. I will go with 50 for the value. Also make sure this layer is 3D, like this. And now we have to play around with it so it matches both the points. That's perfect. Also make sure the position is below it. So as you know, just play with the last value on the position, like this. This is perfect. Now we'll go into the settings and change the color a little bit. Put this to 66. That's perfect. Also the stroke, turn it down to 6. And I want to make it round, so just click on this butt cap so it's rounded. Then go into the settings of the whole shape layer again. I want to go into the stroke. Then click on the add symbol and we want to add a trim paths because now we can animate it. Perfect. Click on the end, turn it to 0. Can press U to reveal only the keyframe properties. Bring it to the front and then to 100. Also add tone easing onto it. I will use the smooth L-easing, the same for the camera zoom so it matches. We want to animate it like this. When it hits the Seattle part, we want the sign of Seattle to pop up. Also I want to remove the easing. You select all of the keyframes and press Command on the keyframes like this. So now it's removed. Like when it zooms out, we want to make sure the line comes. So maybe around 2 point something seconds. It should hit the Seattle point around like this. So it's exactly hitting it when it's finished.
One-way ticket to Seattle.
So guys, now the animation is done. Clean up everything, close all of the compositions and re-enable the map. Select everything again, make sure motion blur is enabled. Copy the grading, delete on the top everything except for the vignette and the chromatic aberration. Put this at the top. This will be the effects, like this. And for the grading, this will be only the lumetri color and the blackout, like this. So this looks much better. So that's how the full animation looks now.
A middle-aged man carrying a briefcase walked into Portland International Airport and purchased a one-way ticket to Seattle, Washington.
So that's the video, guys. If you have any questions about this video or this tutorial, drop in the comments. If you have any suggestions for the next video, also drop in the comments. Like on the previous video, somebody suggested a sound effect tutorial. I will drop this in the next weeks. Can't tell you now, but I'm also working on a course. Just make sure to subscribe, guys. I will drop tutorials like this every few days or weeks whenever I have time. I also have a lot of client work, but I also want to drop a lot of value, guys. So I just make videos about people on YouTube I like to watch, and LEMMiNO is definitely one of them. And he never drops, but he has like crazy good production values. So if you have any specific video or any specific effect, I can show you how to do it. Thank you for watching, guys. That's the video. Bye, guys. In the description below you will see a link to eberdefer.com. This website has a full range of digital assets that can improve your work significantly. Not only do we provide tools to streamline your workflow and take your projects to the next level, but we also have editing freedom, a paid community that connects you with like-minded video editors, content creators and entrepreneurs from around the world. Inside Editing Freedom you will gain access to support from successful entrepreneurs, editing job offers and a network of ambitious individuals all striving to scale their skills and businesses as quickly as possible. If you have any further questions on any of the products, message me on the email on the website. It's time to improve your workflow and take your career to the next level.